financial innovation marches on, and digital currencies and e-money have the potential to bring financial services to more than 1 billion people, while also changing how monetary policy is implemented. And at these annual meetings, you can hear from the policymakers on the front lines of the digital currency revolution. The panel that just wrapped up on the stage behind me talked about shaping the future of e-money systems and the capacity development that the IMF has provided to financial authorities to harness the benefits and manage risks in this area. Joining me now is someone who was on that panel, who has sprinted from the stage to join us on IMF Today, Alvin Hilaire, who is the Governor of the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago. I hope you've caught your breath, Governor.
Yes.
First of all, what do you make of the panel? What you heard? Have you come out feeling optimistic?
Yes, very optimistic. The most important thing I find is that we are very much the same the world over. We in Trinidad and Tobago are on a journey towards financial inclusion and e-money, digital currencies, etc. When I hear from Guatemala, when I hear from the different countries, I realize that we are all very much the same. Although we may differ in culture, geographical size, population, politics, and so forth, people are people around the world, and they all want to have financial transactions that are safe, that are efficient, and that are modern, and they want to have reassurance. So we can learn from it a lot from each other, and this is what I think is important. One of the 5 lessons that I try to impart from our country experience.
So when it comes to those digital financial services, how are you striking the balance between regulation and oversight, particularly Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, that's a very interesting question, especially as we are on a journey now towards fast payments solution in Trinidad and Tobago, using what you call the unified payments interface model of India. And now the central bank has to juggle the role of operator, of supervisor, and of overseer and promoter. So we have to deal with that, and we have to have staff that can embrace this sort of activity and embrace this balancing act, and to spend a lot of time educating the public and knowing how to deal with this new animal, as it were. So we are optimistic. We have a strong staff at the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago, and we will do the necessary thing. But it is a balancing act that needs to be done.
And tell me about the IMF's support, the technical assistance specifically when it comes to regulatory expertise. How important was that support, and can you detail some of the experiences you had and what you learned from that?
Yes, certainly. Well, the IMF has been a good supporter of our technical assistance programs in various spheres on supervision in general. In terms of the specifics on our fintech, we had an excellent TA mission, and I think they were pragmatic, they were direct, and they were very helpful in shaping how we looked at things. The 2 key areas that they looked at were how do we regulate the new animals called fintech, and how do we deal with gaps in legislation on cryptocurrency. With respect to the first one, they had a number of recommendations, including that we should have an entity-based approach to supervision of fintechs, and we should also streamline our processes, because our processes tended to be a bit detailed and maybe not pragmatic. So I think all in all, it was a good and important sphere. What I would say, and just if you may allow me, I'll say in our journey now we are moving towards fast payments using the UPI model as I mentioned, and I think the fund, as well as other agencies such as the CAF, the IDB, the World Bank, the BIS, and so forth, can also help us on the TA front, and I think in four key ways. One is to look very closely at what we are doing, because there is a temptation once you are involved in something not to be objective. So we want to have a clear, objective, and direct approach to how they think we are doing. We don't have to agree with them every time, but we want it to be direct. Secondly, we would like them to help us to broker the arrangements with different countries. As I mentioned before, we have a lot of world experiences. So the fund has an approach and has a lot of people a lot of countries that interface, and this could be helpful. The third is a emphasis on a regional approach. In our case, we have the Caribbean Technical Assistance Center, which is doing a good job. So we think that could be a third part. And the fourth is really the mode of delivery, that so far the fund approaches have been very, a long mission with a lot of detail. We think that this could be complemented by short-term assignments, by just talking over the phone, by having real-time engagements that could make it more dynamic and so forth. So we think those 4 areas would be useful moving forward to enhance our rapport with our counterpart.
Governor, thank you so much for your insights and good luck with the rest of the week.
Yes, thank you very much.